What if you had instant analytics on your PDP images and a faster way to create content that performs better? That's what we're diving into in today's episode, how top brands and retailers are using analytics and automation to stay ahead across retail media and the digital shelf. It's Rapid helps teams scale smarter. They analyze image performance, they help you create optimized assets for retail media networks and the digital shelf, and they integrate directly with PIM and DAM systems for seamless execution. Brands like Pepsi, Mondelez, and Instacart use its Rapid to go beyond basic tools to uncover gaps in PDP and retail media performance by analyzing the images themselves, not just the count. Streamline banner creation across hundreds of formats for Amazon Ads, Walmart Connect, and other retail and social platforms, and launch high-performing content more than 80% faster across e-commerce and marketing channels. If you're buried in manual work or struggling to keep up, this episode and It's Rapid will show you a better way. Visit itsrapid.ai to learn more.
Welcome to Beyond the Shelf with Dave Feinlieb. This show is an open exploration of the people and process behind e-commerce. Through conversations with innovators in the space, we learn the stories of these leaders and their strategies for e-commerce success. We publish new episodes every Tuesday morning, so be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And now, here's your host, Dave Feinlieb.
Okay, welcome back to Beyond the Shelf. Today we've got Eric Sheinkop, the visionary CEO behind the Desire Company, the expert-led video content engine that's reversing the decline in brand trust, one pro-driven product video at a time. Nearly a decade ago, Eric endured a life-changing injury that laid bare a huge gap in online retail. Real expert advice to turn to. From recovering with a rugby pro's recommendation to building a platform that's driven 12x conversion lifts for brands, Eric has turned authentic expertise into a game-changing commerce tool. He's scaled a tech-enabled platform with 6,000 plus product videos featuring experts from across industries, chefs, pro and Olympic athletes, coaches and trainers, stylists, doctors, even astronauts, trusting their reviews as much as we do friends' advice. As the Desire Company preps for its next stage, we'll explore how expert content transforms digital shelves, why experts are greater than influencers, and what's next for expert-led storytelling. Eric, welcome to the show.
What a pleasure to be here. Thank you, David. And I love that intro. I'm going to borrow some of that. That was great.
I got about 100 questions on your journey, but I'll start out with, how did you get your start in the space?
Yeah, so I originally was in the music industry all my life. Since I was a very young kid, that's all I really wanted to do. And I was managing bands, independent musicians, and had the opportunity to place a couple into commercials. So McDonald's commercials, Kellogg's, Lexus. And I realized that was kind of the future of how bands can monetize their art, their craft, was through brand-led campaigns. And I just loved the brand partnership angle of it.
Yeah.
Being able to provide these artists who had incredible talent, incredible stories to tell, and partnering with them with a brand like McDonald's or Coca-Cola. All of a sudden, hundreds of millions of people are being exposed to these artists. It was life-changing events for them. And that's what I focused on. I grew that company from my bedroom to the largest company in the world to provide music to corporations. We became the largest provider to Disney, McDonald's, Viacom, Coke. I ended up selling part of that company to Coca-Cola. And at that point, I didn't realize what it meant to sell your company. So I was internal at Coke for several years. And then when I was leaving, I had a non-compete. And the non-compete said I could no longer be in the music industry for 4 years. And so that was an eye-opener. And at first, it was pretty devastating. Like, I didn't know where else to turn. But then what I realized is it wasn't just these musicians that I had amazing connections with, who had amazing stories to tell. It was all the people behind them as well. So the first people that we started working with at the Desire Company, it was Lady Gaga's team, Rihanna's team, Pharrell, Pink, Beyonce. But rather than Beyonce, it was Beyonce's hairstylist, her nutritionist, her trainer, her chef, her tour manager, the person who planned her travel while she was on the road with the tour. And that provided this unbelievable expertise that we could dive deep into, partner them with brands, and have them tell stories about the products that they used, why they like them, who they recommend them for. That went beyond anything else that we saw in the space. So that was kind of the genesis of it.
You make it sound easy. Now I got to take you back. So how does this come about? You meet other musicians, or you're like listening to music, and then how do you end up, going from hey, listen, I heard a few great pieces of music to let me hook you up with Coke and Disney and so on.
Yeah, it was a chance situation, but it all worked out the way it was supposed to, I guess. But I was throwing concerts because I didn't know. I started a record label 3 months before Napster launched and destroyed all record labels.
Yeah.
So I knew that nobody was ever going to make real money in the traditional way anymore. Um, so I didn't know what else to do. I was throwing concerts because live music was the only place that I saw an opportunity. And at one of the concerts, a creative from Leo Burnett, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, that second song that the band played, I'd love to use that in a Kellogg's commercial." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Well, it actually really gave the vibe, the energy, the emotional connection to what I was trying to get across in this campaign.
Yeah.
I'd love to use it." So I was like, "Well, okay, do you pay for that?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course."
That's great.
And from there, that's when I realized that,
Off to the races.
yeah, I was off to the races.
That's a great story. What I love about that is you seem to have a natural ability to see into the future, which is always incredible. And then also, of course, we all like to have a little bit of good timing on our side. And what a great opportunity and incredible story that came out of it. So the Desire Company, would love to hear about it. What does it do? And how does it relate to shoppers and folks who are getting their products in front of shoppers?
Yeah. So what we've created, it's the largest community of cross-disciplinary experts in the world. So as you mentioned in the intro, we have NASA astronauts, we have veterinarians, we have Olympic athletes, we have everybody in between who is specialized in a particular niche area. And we partner them with brands, with products. They use them, they test them, or they've already used them for years. And we bring them into our studio. We film television broadcast quality content, but it's really purpose built for all places of the digital shopping, or now even in-store shopping experience. What it does is these experts are able to talk about a product on a way deeper level than your typical general marketing or influencer communications. And so the trust of a product goes through the roof with the consumer, and the conversion then jumps tremendously. So we are now, we have millions and millions of eyeballs on our content every day. It all has our watermark on it. You'll see it on Target and Tractor Supply and Walmart and Sam's Club and Best Buy and Amazon, but also connected television, all over streaming. Some brands are even using it on broadcast television, but it's really purpose built for where you are in the consumer journey, with the messaging altered slightly depending on if it's an awareness effort or the consideration, the education, the conversion, and then even post-purchase as well.
Now, when you have the NASA astronaut in the video, do you like, stop by for that one and say, "Hey, I'd like to be at the next launch"?
That's where I geek out. Like, I can't believe we have NASA astronauts. We have some archaeologists. We have like some really interesting professions. But what I love about our community is, like, I always compare it to, like, we have magicians, right? Like, do you know how hard it is to become a magician, a good magician?
Right.
nobody's encouraging you at the beginning. Like if you have a failed card trick, if you have a failed, it's not like a kid trying to play a song where you're like, oh, I know what song you're trying to play. That's great. Keep it up. Like, no, nobody's encouraging you. So everybody in our community, they've worked so hard. They've been told no so many times, and they just keep on excelling and they become the top of their industry. And that's just what I love about it.
What a great community that you've built. And tell us about the name. The Desire Company is a very unique name. How did that come about?
Yeah, it's really about the evolution of curiosity is desire. And desire is what you need before a conversion. Like before you're really willing to make a purchase, you have to really truly desire that product. Curiosity is where we've been focused in marketing, and a lot of marketing, traditional advertising on television or whatever it is meant to spark your curiosity. But then there's been a gap in the market for that education. And the education about the product, it's really been on the onus of the shopper to do their third-party research. And that's why people drop off product pages. They go to Google, they start researching, looking for third-party expertise of that product.
Because they can't find the info they need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. And that gap that's been missing is the conversion of curiosity into desire. And then desire, the next step is conversion. The second part of it is some people at the beginning especially hated the name. Some people loved the name.
That's how you know it's a good one.
But regardless, they never forgot the name. And in a startup, as you know, the most important thing is being remembered. So that was a name that, it had very polarizing emotional reactions, but we knew they were going to remember it. So we just went with it.
I love it. It's so funny you say that because I've got our company, it's Rapid. And I remember we were with a customer and they said, we're just going to call you Rapid from now on because you guys are so fast. And I was like, perfect. As you can call us that because, you're going to remember us and we do one thing and you'll remember us for that. So it's such a great point. You've got so many wonderful stories in your background. I want to spend a moment on selling your last business to Coca-Cola. What was that like? Amazing outcome.
Yeah, it was an unexpected situation, to be totally honest. I met Coke. I was throwing a party in New York to open up our East Coast offices, and it was a concert. And somebody asked me, is this what you guys do? Is it live music? And I was like, no, we actually do campaigns for commercials, and it's custom, or you could license whatever the band has written. And he's like, oh, well, I'm actually really struggling with the Olympic campaign for Coca-Cola right now because we're getting in these issues with all the labels and like this and that. Do you think that's something you could help us out on? I was like, of course, like give me a shot. So he gave me the brief that night. And in 48 hours, we had turned around like about 20 custom demos from all these super cool bands. And Coke couldn't believe it because there's one thing about saving costs and not going to the majors. There's a second part, which is you're supporting these independent artists that are on the come up, right? These are the artists that are opening up at Lollapalooza and Coachella, and being part of their story and helping them get that global exposure. That was something that Coke really leaned into. So it went from just doing that to then I, got to book the talent at the Olympics in Russia, in London, the World Cup in Brazil, in Russia as well, and it was something that Coke loved, was supporting these artists. So it just made sense not only for cost savings by using us, but just freedom and flexibility. Like we would take World Cup songs and we would repurpose it in every single language that competed in the World Cup. And they would use it in the local commercials in that country. And it was the same campaign, but it was just localized. It was awesome.
This episode of Beyond the Shelf is brought to you by It's Rapid. It's Rapid is the platform Pepsi, Mondelez, Instacart, and hundreds of other leading brands and retailers use to build personalized content at scale. Whether that's images, videos, or product descriptions for their product detail pages, shoppable videos or banners for their digital ad campaigns, or sell sheets for sales enablement, brands that use It's Rapid are able to produce high-quality, on-brand content on average more than 80% faster than category competitors. To find out more, please visit itsrapid.ai.
Now, I got to ask you, talk about, hey, we were throwing this party. For the rest of us, throwing a party is like an extremely stressful, long-term planning, and we just hope people don't have a bad time. But for you, the way you say it's like, hey, listen, guys, I was just throwing this party, like no big deal. For those of us who need some help in that department, how do you throw a good party?
That's what I did all my life.
Yeah.
Like I would just throw a great party. You got to have a reason for people to show up. And how I know it's going to be a good party is because 10 minutes after it starts and no one's there, I go and I start having a panic attack and thinking that no one's going to show up, and that's when it's always good. But you got to have a reason for people to show up. So whether that's a talent or people want to see the clients, or the clients want to hear something amazing, and then all the musicians want to be there because the clients are going to be there. There's always something that's going to be a pull for
that's the draw.
The draw for one group, and that group is going to bring everybody else in. But it's got to be fun, low stress. The biggest thing for an event is it can't be a hard sell, a pitch, but it's got to showcase your product. And I think that's where so many brands at these conferences, that you're at all the time, and they have these amazing parties. They spend tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, on these parties, and people leave not knowing what the product does, not knowing what the brand does. And that's what I think is the number one area where people don't see ROI from events, versus making sure people leave truly educated, but they don't feel like it was a sale.
You have such great insights on this. This is going to be great. Now, the Olympic torch, you're running with the Olympic torch. Give us the backstory, and then, if you would, give us a feel for how did it feel?
Yeah, it was wild. So I got nominated by Coca-Cola. They're the largest sponsor, and all the sponsors could nominate people, but then it's a vote. And I was voted for to represent entrepreneurs building companies that unite the world. And that was, we were operating in 200 plus countries. I had artists from 160 countries that we represented. And I was doing the music for the Olympic campaigns and McDonald's Olympic campaign. And it was pretty amazing. I had no idea how the Olympic torch actually worked, but it was for the Sochi Olympics, but I was in a town outside of Sochi because the torch actually travels all around the world, and it's handed to the next person. You get to keep the torch, though. Everybody gets their own torch.
Oh my gosh. I did not know that. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So and customs tried to take it when I was bringing it back from Russia, but we got it back. And when you walk into my parents' house, it's like right there. And it's really sweet. But it was cool. They would put us on these old school Soviet trains. We had to spend like a day and a half on a sleeper cart to go to this town. And it was like every town had a massive Olympic celebration. So somebody from Domino's, Domino's was a big sponsor. Somebody from Domino's handed me the torch. And then I turned around and I met somebody who, he is now one of our investors and advisors, and I talk to all the time. And this was back in 2012. So it's incredible, amazing. Yeah.
What a great story. It's hard to top that one.
I'll tell you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you one more thing about that. I'm not a runner, right? And so when my dad found out that I was running with the Olympic torch, he was like, "You are going to pull your hamstring. You're going to hurt yourself. You need to get a trainer and learn how to run.
Can't go in cold."
Right. Yeah. So I actually did hire a trainer, and then I realized you're running, like 30 steps. It's not like a long run. Yeah, it's not a serious run. Yeah. They save that for the actual runners.
The Olympians. Yeah.
Yeah, for the Olympians. But at least I learned how to run a little bit.
Oh, amazing. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. That's just so inspiring. Uh, Tell us a little more about your recent presentations. You've been talking about content strategy. That was really well
Yeah.
received. What are some of the kind of key messages there?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's taken off right now is everybody is telling you, like Amazon is sending emails to all their vendors saying, "Hey, you need video on your website. You need video." Amazon to whoever it is, they're telling you you got to have some video, but they don't tell you what type. Everybody's like, "I need content." That's like saying, "I need marketing," right? What type of marketing are you talking about? And like, who's your demographic that you're trying to reach? How are you trying to communicate to them? Like, it's not just, I need content, make me content. Like, there has to be actual strategy. Is it content for awareness? Is it content for post purchase to help lower returns because people actually understand then how to use the product and get the most value out of the product? And 100 different layers in between. So that's what we've been really talking about is what is the right type of content to engage the consumer at that actual point in their journey. Again, like we're more of a lean in, like, okay, I have some curiosity about this product. Now I really want to know, is it the right product for me? Is it going to work the way I think it's going to work? What are the results that I could expect? And that's where getting more specific about your content strategy, you'll see amazing impact. It's not just content for the sake of content. It's content because it actually serves a purpose that's going to help with your conversion.
So you've recently hired me, let's suppose,
Yeah,
to run your new marketing department, and I want to build my video now. And of course, I want to come to the expert here, and I say, okay, Eric, what makes for a great video?
sure. So there's a couple of general things, and starting with the outcome of whatever the product is. Whether it's a product for your hair, what is your hair going to look like when you're done? Whether it's a product for the kitchen, what does the food look like when you're done if you use it properly, and so on. Starting there and then going into the expert and saying, why does this person have the authority to give me this recommendation? And that, when we see that coupled together and then going back into the details of the product, it's amazing the difference, a 300% increase in purchase confidence when you have that lineup. Um, there's other elements. Again, it's just like, what does the product do? Who do I recommend this for? Why do I like it? How long have I been using it? Like certain things that really get the message across. And it takes, people feel almost like they got their hands on it. They tried it, they used it before they even bought it with the video done the right way. We do have a proprietary production process that took us, several years to perfect, but we used neuroscience to come up with it, galvanic skin response testing. And it sounds crazy, but like you hook people up to machines, you check their pulse, their sweat, their like everything. If an eyebrows raises a tiny bit, it means something significant. So we dug into all of that to make sure it's science back. My co-founder, she was an executive at Coca-Cola, and I met her when I did the transaction with Coke. And she was the global director of brand PR and communications at Coke for 15 years. So she comes at everything with, you have to have your formula. It has to be repeatable. It has to be proven, scalable. And one of the biggest things is we made sure that all the content we create is FTC compliant. And that's a big issue right now in the space. So we worked with the most cited lawyer from the FTC, reports on what's legal in influencer marketing and reviews and all of these different elements. And we brought that in to help create the formula that works.
All right, Eric, I got to ask you before we wrap up here, the work we're doing together, the Desire Company and It's Rapid. Will you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing for us because we are a video first company, and people ask us for all types of different assets, and it's taken us a long time to go through and try to find the right thumbnail, but we've really doubled down on being able to provide them with additional assets, and working with It's Rapid has changed the game in terms of the sizing. So as an example with this carousel, runner tested, Olympian approved. We're able to, create all types of different sizes and provide them back to the brand so that they could use them in anywhere from Facebook ads to LinkedIn content or blogs when they want to talk about it, to banners that are then repurposed and used on Sam's Club or whatever, and we could change the branding quickly. So it's been a game changer for being able to size appropriately, pull out the stills. And I know we asked a lot of you, because you usually are going from the still image to the video, and we
Yeah,
asked if you guys could go from the video to the stills, which
such a great use case.
yeah, which we really appreciate. But no, it's been fantastic and well received so far.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, let me give you the rapid rundown now. By the way, I could have you on for at least another 10 episodes. You have so many great stories and so many insights on everything from marketing to how to connect with people. So, thank you for all that. These are quick. First one is your favorite expert-led video your team has produced recently.
My favorite is this. It's the Garmin. It's for the Garmin, and I just love it. It's a adventure athlete, an extreme adventure athlete. That's what he does for a profession, and he jumps off of a mountain, uh, paragliding in our video. And like, I just can't believe. And he's talking about the watch and the role that it plays, and how he went on this like extreme expedition, and everybody was wearing the 7 or the 8, and all the different ways he uses it, and it made me want one. I hate smartwatch. So
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
I love that. Just showing his expertise too, which was so unique.
yeah, this is a great one. A piece of retail content you think more brands should try.
PDP video, I think that, and purpose built, not repurposing
Mm.
influencer, not repurposing UGC, not repurposing your television. I know these are supposed to be rapid, but the biggest mistake, I think, is what happened at the beginning of social media, where brands were saying, well, I already have a television commercial, I'll just use it on social media.
Run that. Yeah.
But you can't. You're speaking to the same audience, but they're at a totally different place in their mind when
Mm.
they're acting on social. And it's the same thing when you're on PDP. You cannot repurpose your social content for the PDP. It has to speak to them at that point in their journey. So I think that's the PDP.
Great insight. A creative tool or platform you've come to rely on.
I mean, everything from Slack and even Riverside we use all the time, but we have an internal platform that is able to identify the right analytics for video, and again, like, who's the right expert and how's that video going to perform. So it's an internal thing that I'm very proud of, and we're going to be launching it publicly by the end of the year.
What's something in your office or workspace that sparks creativity for you?
We get a lot of thank you cards from our experts. These are people who, they're not getting brand opportunities because they're usually behind the camera, and behind the star. So when we hook them up with a brand and we do this shoot, they just feel really valued. And that just is constantly inspiring to our team, just to keep on building and keep on going, and broadening our expert community. But that's it.
Yeah, and by the way, these folks, these truly are experts. I mean, they are the best of the best at what they do, and so you really want to hear from them. So I think it's a great community you've tapped into and built. After a long day or a long week, what's your favorite way to recharge?
Yoga every day, end of the day. That's my thing, or super early. But
Yeah.
I cannot. I just got back in town last night. I can't wait to get to yoga this afternoon. That's my thing.
If brands or our listeners want to test out some content like what you've been talking about, what's the fastest or the easiest way for them to get started?
Yeah, I mean, reach out to us. Thedesirecompany.com. It has all our contact. Mine is Eric at thedesirecompany.com. LinkedIn, The Desire Company, or Eric Sheinkop, Sheinkop. But would love to hear from you. We do pilots all the time just to show how well this works, and then build from there. So very flexible, nice crew to work with.
So whether you want to put your best marketing foot forward, throw a great party, or just have a wonderful conversation. Eric Sheinkop with the Desire Company. Eric, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today on Beyond the Shelf.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Love your content always. So thank you for letting me be a part of it.
That's it for this week's episode of Beyond the Shelf. If you enjoy the show, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. It really helps us grow. And feel free to share us with your colleagues so they too can hear weekly perspectives from the brightest minds in e-commerce. You can also check us out on LinkedIn, where we post clips from each episode, share Dave's takes on breaking industry news, and much more. Beyond the Shelf is a production of It's Rapid. Our host is Dave Feinlieb, and our producers are Sean Levy-Ashvili and Jake Musiker. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Beyond the Shelf.